Welcome back. You're watching Markets at Noon on ET Now, and the markets are taking a bit easy in trade today, but there is one stock that is in focus, that is Ddev Plastiks Industries. We have the management joining us on the show to talk about the company, the prospects going ahead, which are the areas or the segments they're targeting to, in fact, expand their market share in. We have Mr. Narrindra Suranna, who is the chairman and the managing director at Ddev Plastiks Industries. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. And firstly, if you could tell us more about your company. Looks like the fact that the government's push towards actually capex as well as the boost in the real estate sector will be auguring well for your company in particular. If you could tell us more about the company, sort of a clientele that you actually cater to.
See, basically, we are into polymer compound industry, and mainly we are catering to cable industry. As you know, that cable industry is growing at a CAGR of, in last 3 years, they have grown at a CAGR of 20%. And in coming 5 years, they are likely to grow at a rate of 9% CAGR. And we are manufacturing many products which are not being manufactured in our country. Mainly, we are into XLP compound and supplying for high voltage right up to 66 kVA. And companies in the process of making compound up to 132 kVA also in coming few months.
Right, sir. Good afternoon. This is Vinny joining in the conversation as well. So I was just seeing your Q3 presentation as well. Obviously, Q3 you've mentioned and highlighted because of the current scenario that's going on. It's a bit under pressure. But Q4, how are the trends looking like? How is it that we are expecting to close the year now at?
See, historically, Q4 is always, better for our company because of many factors, because all the cable companies, they also have to, complete their projects, number one. And number two, all the, these discounts, what we are entitled to get from our suppliers, they also come in the books, in the last quarter. So last quarter, historically, if you see our company result for last many, many years, it has always been better than, last quarters.
Right. Sir, if you look at the way how you maintained your ratio when it comes to your domestic as well as exports revenue is about 70 is to 30. 70% of your revenues come from the domestic markets, while the remaining comes from the exported markets. If you tell us, are you planning to maintain that sort of a ratio going ahead? And if so, then what sort of an area in when you talk about the export markets or geographies in export market are you targeting?
See, the percentage definitely are going to be same, and rather we are pushing export also in great way. We are exporting to almost 55 countries, and going forward, we are looking to cater other markets as well, And we are introducing new compounds. As I said, that we will be introducing XLP compound up to 132 kVA in coming few months only, which is not being manufactured by anybody in our country. It is being manufactured by people like Dow Chemicals or LG or Hanwha. And going forward, maybe in coming couple of years, we are aiming to make compound up to 222 kVA also.
Sir, I want to know in terms of your margins also, because when I'm looking at it versus last year, obviously your margins have seen a sharp and stark improvement. Last quarter also we managed to see that double-digit margins. EBITDA margins is what I'm talking about. So can we expect these double-digit EBITDA margins to continue, and which of your segments actually lead to the better margins for the company? Like, which is a high margin business for you?
See, as I said, we are focusing more on high validated products, the products which are not being manufactured in our country. For example, we have gone into this across-link HFR compound. We are aiming to produce up to 132 kVA compound. Then at this anti-tracking compound, which are high EBITDA and high margin items. And going forward, they will be more in demands because the way Indian government, they are bringing in discipline, and they are bringing in the specifications in cable sector, in housing sector. So it will be absolutely compulsory and imperative to go for that kind of compound, which is otherwise not being manufactured in our country. So we are one step ahead. We have already started exporting these compounds out of our country.
So in March 2022, you had the NCLT approve your demerger with Kalpana Industries. I believe the merger ratio was about 1:1 or so. If you could tell us, how has the demerger actually worked well for the company? What sort of synergies or what sort of benefits has this demerger actually brought in, especially for Ddev Plastiks?
See, as you know, that everybody in our country and overseas also now they are going for recycling, and we call it upcycling. We don't call it recycling. So we had two verticals in Kalpana industry. One was upcycling and one was this polymer compounding business. So it was beneficial for both the companies. If we split up into different companies, then value could be unlocked, because very soon a legislation is going to come whereby you will have to necessarily use 30% of the upcycled product in any of on your finished product, and historically if you see all over the globe it is necessary that you have to use 30% of upcycled compound. So now Kalpana is focused on upcycling and business, and Ddev Plastic is focused on polymer compounding business, the fresh prime polymer compounding business.
Right, sir. And sir, in terms of solar panels, how are the orders on that front as well? Because that's a theme that has been picking up as well. So in terms of anything exciting that is happening on that front, and anything specific in terms of an investment plan that you have or a capex plan for that solar panel side?
See, we are not directly into solar panel, but we are making compounds for solar cables, which is being used for making solar cables and generating solar power. Actually, as you will see that we have already invested more than 100 crores rupees in last 3 years in capex only, and we plan to invest around 300 crores in coming 3 years, and that will definitely augment more capacities in terms of different compounds, specialized compound also, and that will open a new door of opportunities for exports as well as domestic markets.
And lastly, Mr. Surana, let's talk about what sort of an outlook that you have when it comes to the order book, your capex, also some numbers that you can leave us with. Where do you see your revenues and margins going ahead for all of your segments?
See, we are maintaining a healthy EBITDA of 10.3 or 10.5%, and that will be maintained in the coming few quarters also. And this order book is very healthy. We are producing and we see and supplying. It is hand to mouth situation.
Okay, sir, thank you so much for joining in with us this afternoon on ET Now and giving us an understanding in terms of where the company is headed, outlook of the company, and what's looking exciting in terms of the revenues and margins. But thank you so much, sir, for joining in with us. That was the management of Ddev Plastiks, Mr. Surana, joining in with us. And as of now, stock is holding on to gains of around 0.6% in trade.